How to serve court papers. Service is a formal way of giving copies of all court documents to all parties in a case. It is a very important step at all stages of a lawsuit because it notifies the parties of the existence of a court case and of all actions being taken in the case. Serving documents is one of the most important elements in any legal action. It is very important that all documents are served properly. Improper service can negatively affect your case. At the very least, it may result in significant delays. In some situations, it may require you to spend a lot of time, energy, and money filing complicated motions and paperwork. In some cases, ongoing problems with improper service may even result in the dismissal of your case. Documents cannot be served by a party to the case. Someone who is over 18 and not a party to the action must perform all service. It is important to note that, until you serve a party with court documents, your case cannot move forward. Often, when court timelines are calculated, they are counted from the date of service of papers. Therefore, it is very important that you are aware of the timelines and deadlines in your case and be sure that all papers are served on time. In addition to adhering to timelines, you must also serve and file your documents in the proper order. The proper order will depend on what is being served. When you start a new case or file a cross-complaint, you will need to file your documents with the court before you serve them on the other party. After you file your documents, the clerk will assign a case number and issue a summons. You can then have your documents served on the other party. A proof of service of summons will need to be completed by your server and filed with the court after service is complete. Throughout your case, though, you will not need to make 2 trips to the courthouse. You can serve most papers before filing them. Once service is complete, your server will complete a proof of service, which can be filed along with the documents that were served. Proper service also requires service of documents on the proper person. If you are starting a lawsuit against an individual, the individual should be served. Throughout the case, if the party retains an attorney, the attorney, rather than the party, will need to be served. If the party does not hire an attorney, though, you will continue to serve the party directly. When starting a lawsuit against a corporation or LLC, though, you will need to serve the documents on the business's agent for service of process. All corporations and LLCs are required to provide this information to the California Secretary of State. The Secretary of State's website has a searchable database of this information, which is available to the public. If you are suing a corporation or an LLC, be sure to search this database to determine the proper agent for service of process. Throughout the case, the business will most likely be represented by an attorney. Once an attorney is retained in the case, the attorney will be the recipient of all papers that are served. Although all documents may be served personally, there are some papers that must be served in person. Any documents that start an action, such as a summons, ex parte notice of motion, or order to show cause, must be personally served. Other common documents that require personal service include subpoenas, restraining orders, orders for examination, and orders for appearance of judgment debtors. There are other documents that may require personal service as well. Be sure to check the codes to determine if personal service is required in your situation. As I said earlier, you cannot serve your own documents. Someone else must do it for you. If you have an attorney representing you, your attorney or someone on his staff is allowed to personally serve the documents in your case. Usually, though, the attorney will ask you to have someone else serve the documents. Selecting the appropriate person to serve your documents is very important because improper service can negatively affect your case. Be sure the person you choose will understand how to properly serve your papers. When personal service is required, many parties will elect to hire a professional to serve their papers to ensure proper personal service. One option is to have the Sheriff's Department Civil Division serve your papers. For a small fee, usually around $35, the Sheriff's Department will perform personal service of your documents. This service may be free if the court has granted a fee waiver in your case. The sheriff can only serve documents during business hours, though, so if you don't have a daytime address for the person to be served, this may not be a good option for you. Another option is to hire a registered process server. The fees are usually a little more than the sheriff's department, but registered process servers tend to have more flexible hours during which they will serve documents. Fee waivers will not apply to private process servers. Otherwise, you may have a friend or family member serve your documents for you. This person must be over the age of 18 and not a party in the case. California law prohibits anyone from serving documents more than 10 times per year without registering as a process server. To avoid breaking this rule, you may need to find more than one person to serve your documents if your case will have a lot of papers to be served over time. Remember, improper service can negatively affect your case, so when choosing someone to perform personal service, be sure the person you pick understands how to perform proper personal service. Here's a demonstration of proper personal service.
Hi, are you Brenda Sherman?
Why, yes I am. Can I help you?
I have some legal documents for you.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
To recap, in that scene, the server performed good personal service. She got within normal speaking distance from Brenda. She verified Brenda's identity by asking her name. She informed Brenda that she was serving legal papers, and she gave Brenda the documents. Brenda was very cooperative. That is not always the case. Here's an example of a less friendly litigant.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Brenda Sherman.
I'm Brenda Sherman. How can I help you?
I have some legal documents for you.
What? No, I don't want those. No, don't give them to me. I'm not taking them. Get out of here.
Don't worry if the person refuses to take the papers or if they tear up or throw away the documents. Service is complete once the papers are left in the party's presence. In the preceding scenarios, the person being served was easily found. Sometimes it can be very difficult to serve a party, though, especially if they know the lawsuit's coming and are trying to evade service. For this reason, the court will permit substituted service if personal service is not possible. To perform substituted service, the server must first make diligent attempts to serve the party personally. The server will need to write a declaration, under penalty of perjury, detailing the attempts made to serve the party personally. The court will require at least 3 attempts to serve the person personally, with attempts in the morning, afternoon, and evening. These attempts must be made when the party would reasonably be at that location. For instance, if you attempt to serve the party at work, it should be during the normal business hours. If personal service is not possible after diligent attempts, papers may be left with someone over the age of 18 who is either a competent member of the household or the person apparently in charge at the party's place of business at the time of service. Copies of the documents must then be mailed to the party at the address where the server left the documents. Substituted service is not complete until the documents are mailed to the person being served. Here's a demonstration of proper substituted service.
Hi, is Brenda Sherman home?
Not at the moment.
When do you expect her to be here?
She should be here tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, thanks. I'll try back tomorrow.
She's not here right now. She's still not home. I'm expecting her for dinner tonight. Sorry, she's still not here. Try tomorrow afternoon.
Hi there. Is Brenda Sherman home?
No, I haven't seen her today.
Okay, well, I have some legal documents for her. Please give these to her when you see her. I'll also send a copy in the mail to make sure she gets it.
In that scene, the server made numerous attempts to personally serve Brenda. Because she was unable to give the documents to Brenda in person, the server left the documents with a competent member of Brenda's household over the age of 18. She then mailed a copy to Brenda at the address where she left the documents. After serving the documents, the person performing service should complete and sign a proof of service form. The proof of service informs the court that certain documents have been served. The proof of service is usually filed with the court after service. Some documents have their own proof of service forms. If you are serving a document that has its own proof of service, you will need to use that proof of service form. Common documents that have their own proof of service include summons, restraining orders, including civil harassment, domestic violence, elder abuse, and workplace violence restraining orders, subpoenas, and many other documents in family law, probate, small claims, and juvenile courts. If there is no special proof of service form, then you may use a general proof of personal service form. Although each proof of service is different, they all basically ask the same questions. The person performing service will have to indicate their name and address, the date and location they served the papers, the name of the person on whom the papers were served, and what documents were served. The proof of service will be signed under the penalty of perjury. It is usually filed with the court after service is complete. The proof of service may be filed with the court by the person performing service, by a party to the action, or anyone else. Some proofs of service include instructions for filling out the form. For samples of how to fill out proof of service forms, please ask at the reference desk. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask the reference librarian for more information.